everybody, Pepper here, and today we're going to talk about Mr. Knightley Austenland and a few books that I just can't wait to read. Come along with me and let's talk together. Okay, so you might be wondering why I've got on my gear, and so I'm going to explain it first. I just got my edits back on a book that I'm writing next, which, well, I'll be editing next, which is Loyally Luke. And if you guys have read the Authentically Izzy and getting ready to read Positively Penelope, Loyally Luke is the next book in that set of books. And it comes out in May of 2024. So I just got my edits back and I'm going to be diving into those this coming week. But I'm so excited about it. So this is a kind of hat that Luke would wear. He would hate these. He would hate these, but he would love my hat, and I got on my flannel. So we are set for edits. But I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about why we talked last time about Emma and why it's one of my favorite Jane Austen novels. But my top hero in Jane Austen's books is Mr. Knightley. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why, and I would love to hear if you guys are fans of Mr. Knightley, why you like him. He's done so well in the book, and I am listening to an audio dramatization of Emma. It's one of the best versions, audiobook-wise, I've ever heard. It is this version, and Emma Thompson is the narrator, but it also has all these different voices playing the other parts. Fantastic. If you have some extra points or you can find it on Hoopla or wherever, it is a wonderful version of Jane Austen's Emma. If you don't mind it not being word for word like the book, there's a lot of word for word in there, but it's more dramatized. So it is such a fun one to listen to. I'm listening to it right now while I drive back and forth to work. And so that's my audiobook, my Jane Austen audiobook for Jane Austen July. I am loving it. I've listened to it before. This is a second listen, and every time I am more and more like Mr. Knightley. I just do. The voices, though, for all the guys and the ladies are fantastic and very fitting to the characters, and that matters to me when I'm listening. So, what do we have? Mr. Knightley. Why do I like Mr. Knightley, and why do I find him a better hero, in my opinion, right? People can fight me for it. I'm okay with that. A better hero than Mr. Darcy. I am a fan of Mr. Darcy because I think Mr. Darcy has a fantastic character. He's a very solid guy, all that kind of stuff. But why do I like Mr. Knightley better? Here's why. Several reasons. Number one, I think Mr. Knightley has a sense of humor, and we get to see it. We don't get to see Mr. Darcy's sense of humor. It would be great if we did, because it would make me like him better. But we get to see Mr. Knightley's sense of humor and the way he teases Emma and the way he kind of watches things happen and interprets the world around him. I love that he has a sense of humor. He's also very much confident in himself, in his own, where he is in his life. The whole, when he wants to take a carriage and when he doesn't want to take a carriage, it just cracks me up in the books and in the longer TV series movie. To watch that version is just really fun. So I like he's got that confidence. He's not trying to impress people. He's not trying to be something that he's not. I really think that's a wonderful character trait for him. I also like that he is a good man. He loans his carriage out to people he knows are going to need it. He's helpful, like when he rescues Harriet during the dance scene. He's willing to put himself into an uncomfortable situation to do the right thing. And we see that with Mr. Darcy too, but we get to see it in a different way in Mr. Knightley, and it only rounds out his character even more. I also like that when he realizes he's in love with Emma, which he doesn't think is, I mean, he's like, why would this is not going to work? Because he's like a determined bachelor, right? But when he realizes he's in love with Emma and he thinks she is in love with Frank Churchill, he does what he thinks is best for both of them. he backs away and is trying to rein in and control these feelings that he has, try to become indifferent, as he says. And it's something he's not winning that fight because he cares about her so much. But I love that he's willing to put her desires and interests, her happiness, before him getting what he wants. And that's just another great character trait. I love seeing that in his character. And I know, I don't know how many of you guys are Christians who read some of this fiction, but as a Christian, I love looking for those character traits that are kind of small reflections of a gracious God. And we get to see it in characters. We get to see it in fiction, and I love watching that happen through characters. And we get to see that in Mr. Knightley. We definitely get to see that rescuing kind of idea from Mr. Darcy as well. But Mr. Knightley is number one for me. I also am a big fan of Henry Tilney, but we'll talk about that another time. Now, along the same lines though, since it is Jane Austen July, I wanted to talk about one of my all-time favorite movies / Austen books, like hilarious tongue-in-cheek Austen books, which is, let me pull it out here. If you've not read it before, Austenland, I strongly recommend reading the book. If you've never seen the movie, I strongly recommend that too, but read the book first. If you have already seen the movie and haven't read the book, read the book. It's so fun. It's short, not one of those long ones. It's not going to take you a long time. But the movie is ridiculous. So you have to go into watching Austenland with the idea that this is going to be flippin' ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I'm sorry, flippin' is a word we use in Appalachia, and I think it might be a not a nice word in other cultures, so excuse me, I didn't mean it that way. So anyway, Austenland is so funny and silly. The characters are silly. The premise is just fun. It's not supposed to be taken literally, and you know it about within 10 minutes of watching the first part of the movie. You recognize it pretty quickly in the book. I adore Mr. Nobley in this book. I really like him. He's played by J.J. Field in the movie, and J.J. does an amazing job of playing him. J.J. also plays Henry Tilney in one of the movie versions of Northanger Abbey, which is my favorite version of Northanger Abbey. But read the book if you get a chance, because it's got such fun humor. It's got the fun ridiculousness. And this, Mr. Nobley, you just, like with most books, there's this deeper emotional connection you get by reading the book than you do by seeing it on the movie, even though it's a fun movie. Austenland is one of my movies that's kind of like comfort food. It's a comfort movie. When I'm sick, I watch Austenland. That or Lord of the Rings or something like Jane Austen's other things. But definitely, if you've not seen it, it's hilarious. I want to talk about it sometime after I hear about how many of you guys have watched it before, because it's just a fun movie to watch. And it's, again, like I said, it's silly. Acting's fun. You watch it like you eat popcorn at a movie theater. It's just a light sort of thing to watch. It's not going to have any deep emotional movements. Right. Like some movies are. So that is one of my favorite movies. Now, we talked about Mr. Knightley. We talked about Austenland. I'm going to talk a little bit about some book recommendations I have for the Regency-ish types of books that I can't wait to read, and a couple that I've already read that I'm so excited about, but I have to show the whole set because, you know, you just have to. But before that, some people have asked some questions about my writing journey, what my life is like as a writer. I would love for you to kind of sort of flesh out some of those questions so I can answer them the way you would like, you know, what kinds of specific things you'd like me to focus in on, because I work almost full-time as a speech-language pathologist during the day, so writing is not my full-time gig. So I fit writing into my regular life. So I would love to share more about what that journey is like, what my journey has been like as a writer, what my writing is like now, and what, like for right now, really quickly, I just got my edits back for Loyally Luke. I have a month to make those edits, and then I turn them back in August and immediately start in on a novella that's due October 1st, which is a Christmas novella with Thomas Nelson. And then I immediately started into another 2 books that are coming pretty quickly after that. A historical, hopefully, and another contemporary. The contemporary one I'm so excited about, you guys, because it's set in Scotland on the Isle of Mull, and it's probably going to be crazy. It's going to be a journey, y'all. It's going to be one. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm moving in the direction of writing. As many of you guys know, personally, I am also a mom of 5, and I will take some time on a separate video to tell you a little bit about my family if you guys want to hear about that. So I can talk about those sorts of things too. So I'd love to have you guys kind of narrow in some questions, and I will try to answer them on one of these videos. Now, for Jane Austen July, I am physically reading Sense and Sensibility. Look at this beautiful version by one of the Barnes & Noble classics. I just picked this one up. This is my 3rd copy of Sense and Sensibility. I don't have a problem. And so I am reading that. I am ashamed to say that I don't have but 1 copy of Emma, and I will be remedying that probably. I know which copy of Emma I want to purchase. I just have to get paid so I can purchase it. Anyone else understand that? Okay, so book recommendations for Jane Austen July. Not all of them are Regency. I am looking forward to reading them though. I'm right now still reading that Emma book, Emma of 83rd Street. It's so much fun. It's just been a busy 2 weeks and I haven't gotten as much time to read as I've wanted to because I'm also writing and working and reading other things. But so I'm really loving it. It's such a fun, lighthearted story. Now, for books I would recommend if you want a vibe, that's Jane Austen-ish. Here we go. If you have never read Mimi Matthews, I strongly encourage you guys. She is an auto-buy author of mine. I love reading her work. One of my favorite books by her is Gentleman Jim. Gentleman Jim, look at that beautiful cover. I have the older version of it, and then I had to buy the newer version because it goes with the series. And don't you just need them to look the same on the bookshelf? They can't not match. It seems criminal if they don't match, right? You know? So Gentleman Jim was fantastic. And her book that came out as a second one to Gentleman Jim is Return to Satterwaith Court. Loved it. Gentleman Jim is still at the top of the list, but this one is so fun because the heroine has such gumption. So Gentleman Jim, though, is still number 1. Now, just released this month is the 3rd one. I have not read it yet. This is one of the ones I'm looking forward to reading, Appointment in Bath. So many people have already been giving it rave reviews. The cover is splendid. I am so excited to get to read this one next. So that's one of my recommended reading that I'm looking forward to. And I'll tell you guys about it once I get to them. I'm also looking forward to this one. A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. Now, I'm saying I've not read these, so I don't know what their spice level's like. I don't know what their language level's like yet. I know that Mimi Matthews will be fine. She's consistent. I know what to expect in her books. I don't know about these yet, but this one just looks like it's going to be a romp. I am so excited to get to read this one. It sounds fun. It is by Sophie Irwin. So that one is on my I can't wait to read list. And here's the other one on my can't wait to read list. The Murder of Mr. Wickham by Claudia Gray also has come highly recommended. I am so excited about it. The cover is so fun. It makes you go, you know, like a Clue, like the movie or the book Clue or the game. You know, so I'm going to be looking forward to reading this one. I'm hoping to have a little bit more time to do some fun reading within the next month. So I'm hoping to get through some of these. I'm almost finished with the Emma of 83rd Street, so I will be sharing about that one. So there we go. There's my talk for today. Again, I already asked if you guys would narrow in on some questions you want me to answer, what you'd like to learn about me or my writing or books. But a second question I would love for you to answer is why, if Mr. Knightley's one of your favorite Austen heroes, why is he one of your favorite Austen heroes? If Mr. Knightley is not one of your favorite Austen heroes, I would love for you to tell us who one of your favorite Austen heroes is and why he is one of your favorites. We'll talk just generally heroes at some other time, but I would love to hear about your favorite Austen hero and why. So I can't wait to read your comments. You guys have been amazing at commenting, and I can't wait to hear more. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.